Again, he was up 3 or 4 times during the night. I don't think he sleeps any more than 2 hours at a time. Once morning comes is when he gets his sleep, and unfortunately we will have to get up looking dreary-eyed and struggling to get through another day. School starts in 15 minutes. He is still fast asleep. He hasn't slept all night, as always. Lots of screaming and shouting and worried he's getting hurt. And I am sat here printing out and cutting out all of his activities for today, because they need to all be stuck into his book ready for when he comes down, as it's really important to Tristan to have everything ready if we have to find anything that poses a challenge and a problem, and that can lead to escalation. So that's how I start my day, and not without my trusty faithful cup of coffee. Time to get up. Egg muffins downstairs. Hello, darling. Gonna get up now?
My name's Tristan and I'm 10 years old. I like to play sport and play video games. My favourite sport is cricket. I have a rare disease called RSS. It affects my height, and I have hypermobility, which makes me be able to do this. And RSS stands for Russell-Silver syndrome. I go to Birmingham Children's Hospital. I go there every quarter of a year to have my blood drawn, and every year I have an MRI to scan my brain because of my Russell-Silver syndrome.
How does your Russell-Silver syndrome impact your school?
I struggle with doing schoolwork. I have what most people would call sort of anger issues. I am very fidgety. I find it hard to concentrate sometimes. Hi, Miss Palmer, say hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
This is Miss Palmer. She's my one-to-one, I think. What do you do for me?
What do I do for you? Well, hopefully I help you get through a day. I try really hard to make the sessions not quite so boring. I don't know if I succeed in that, but I hope I do.
You do. You definitely do.
Good.
Tristan is cognitively a very able child, but struggles to access education. Any demands placed on Tristan may trigger fear, and he will run until he feels he is away from the trigger, whether this be in a different room at school or climbing the school fence on many occasions. And yet he feels so sad and sorry for his escalations. These challenges extend out of school to the whole day, and they're not actually a result of his rare disease, but it's Tristan's mental health and the trauma that he experienced in hospitals and at his last school. When Tristan was young, he had so many hospital visits. He was forced to endure procedures that provoked fear and pain. It was an attack on his body. A key problem, I think, with modern medicine is that doctors treat the child's symptoms, but not the whole child. The mental health of a child with a rare disease or the family is rarely supported. But the impact of a rare disease on a family's life is really challenging, life-changing, and a really, really large strain. The whole family goes through a process, learning to adapt, trying to find out information, sometimes feeling lost, frustrated, and sometimes I think you have to look really carefully as to how siblings are affected. Tristan's sister Bethan is, amazing. But from day one, she's always been put on the back seat. She's always expected to adapt, to cope. During the Zoom sessions with the school, she has to go in another room. I need to support Tristan. and his sister isn't allowed to make any noise because Tristan likes it very, very silent when he's working. And so she's sort of discarded to another room. And there's so many times when I just say to Bethan, please don't set your brother off. You know, it's something we say a lot. Please just don't set him off, because we don't have the energy to deal with it. And so I think it's really important to think about young caregivers and how much the siblings' lives have changed. And yes, what will that mean for Bethan when she's older? Will it mean that she's one of the most compassionate, caring, patient, understanding people you'll ever meet? But that doesn't mean the journey to getting to that place isn't a hard one.
Hi, my name's Bethan. I'm 9 years old. It is challenging to be a sister to a child with a rare disease. My mum found a group called Unique Feet, which supports children with rare diseases. They gave us really fun things to do and activities. And my mum has someone to talk to who understands us.
Tristan's bedroom, as you can see, it is so tiny that we can't even put a door in it. One of the really big challenges is when a child has high care needs. We often think about a child maybe being in a wheelchair, but my son's care needs are very high. The caregiver's allowance you get really doesn't substitute a wage. So therefore, obviously, we're always financially struggling to keep things afloat, and things like an extension so my son could have a full-size bedroom is definitely not in the cards anywhere near the future. So this is my favourite time of the day if I get it. And it's a beautiful day today because the sun is shining. So it's so lovely to get outside. I've got my little dog Penny with me and we are taking a very quick sprint. How can I leave Tristan at home, you ask? Well, his gaming time has just started, so he is totally hooked to the computer screen, and I don't think he'd move if there was a fire. Do you take any medicine?
I take an injection every night and it helps me grow.
He puts the needle on. And then he dials it up. There we go. And then it's ready. Well, it's the end of the day. I'm absolutely exhausted. Emotionally, physically, mentally. My daughter's in bed listening to her audiobook. My son is in bed with his Kindle, resisting everything he can to go to sleep, as he knows that's when the night terrors and the nightmares will start. I suppose I'm resisting sleep, as I know not sooner than my head hits the pillow there'll be a problem, and I'll be up quite a few times during the night. I'm also really worried about schools for next year. We've got an excellent primary school right now, but currently there doesn't seem to be a secondary school to send my son to. Obviously, as a parent, that's really worrying. So for us, Rare Disease Day is every day.